I just got back from Broadus, Montana, wearing my Broadus Local Love shirt. Went to the Boot and Tack. Got a gold scarf, silk scarf. Watch out. No, you're like, man, you ain't Steven Tyler. What are you doing? Every time I go, I try to get one new color. I got these a bunch of fabric. I got a red one. I got a purple one a couple years ago. I got a plan for these. I got a little thing in my little studio lounge. I'm going to try. It's going to be good. What else? Oh, rack sign. Less is more. Oh, buddy. This is it. The song I'm going to play today is just... It's just letting the chords do the work, and I'm going to show you how I'm doing it. It's actually, the reason I came, this is going to be a short one today. The reason I ran in here and did this was I was actually playing this song for a project I'm working on. I have a publishing company, Kingdom 2. I'll post this when it's done, but it's a thing called Somber Song. I got the Gretsch back, had this over in the shop. I live on the west side of Nashville. I'm in Kingston Springs. At exit 196, my man Colin at Bandwagon fixed this. You are a freaking beast. The cone was sounding like it'd been thrown under a bus and run over by a Boeing 747. It was terrible. He also fixed one of my Chets, and the prices are reasonable. I almost don't want to give him away. Y'all fix your guitars with Colin at Bandwagon. He's incredible. I can't thank him enough. They say you're supposed to have a good, what is it, a mechanic, an accountant, and a lawyer. So I think you need a good guitar repair person. So I tell you what, let's get right into this. This is a thing called Somber Song. The Somber Song. It's not even that somber. It's mostly major. And I'll show you how I'm doing it, and we'll talk about tunings again real quick, because I've got a bunch of cheapo guitars hanging down the wall, and I put all of them in different tunings to try to kind of break out of my way of doing things. And I'm going to post some of my tunings down below here. Actually, I'll post them all, and as we go through the series, I'll show you some different things you can try with those tunings. But here, I'm gonna play this for you. Let's just do it. Walk it up. One more time. That B is a tough one. There it is, folks. That's the Gretsch through an Eterna pedal and a little acoustic amp. Here's how we're doing this. Take that E string, make sure it's a D. Just drop that E down to a D. So if you were playing an E major, you get a flat 7 out of it. It makes some of these chords sound a lot tougher than they are to play. For instance, if you did like a C power chord, 1-5-1, C, G, C, when you leave those open strings in, you get a really cool suspension. So I drop that C off into A, but I hold the rest of the chord. That's just the 4 middle strings. B, C, D, and then here's a cool thing. Take that 5th fret on the 4th string and drop it down a half step, and you get kind of a gnarly thing. These all work on top. So when I did that E minor, what sounded like an E minor was really, I had a G, a C to make the suspension, B, you get that nice little smash right there, and that looks like an A, but since it's a half step down, that's actually a G. But that chord really chord stuff. This is the last one I'll give you. This is one of my on the harmonics, we're just grabbing the 7th fret. This is the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th string, and then we just hold those bass notes C and B. Did it that time. I didn't do it when I was just playing for you fine people. 5 is A, and then back to G. But here's the turnaround chord. That is a D, and it's actually a D suspended. It's got 2 Ds in it because of that tuning. And then on the bottom, it's just an F sharp. I love that. It's something I use. It's kind of a big gospel chord sound. I think I use that in a lot of songs. And then back to the resolve. So nice, simple. I've got to keep looking at this, man. Less is more. I just gave you that spiel the other day about careful of gear and careful of again, my old little kid. Speed. No, man, chill out. Try to write something pretty. Shout out to Ray freaking Barry. I don't know. He hadn't even seen this, but he was one of my first guitar teachers. When I moved to Wichita, 3 feet tall, getting my butt kicked after school, my mom saved up money and took me into Miller Music out there and got me some guitar lessons from him. I thought of Ray and found some of my old, I was looking through the things we could talk about as this series goes on. I found some of the first stuff I learned from Ray, because we're gonna talk about modes. I mentioned them, and I screwed up the relative major and minor the other day. Rev, thanks for catching me. I thought I was in E, and so I said it was, for E, it would have been D flat. It's always a step and a half down. The major would E, so you go down to D flat. And I think it was actually in D, and it should have been B, which is a step and a half down. But I'm going to talk about the modes, but here's what reminded me of all this. Folks, this was the holy grail for me back when I was a young man. This is the Roland GP8. I heard Tears for Fears ran their vocals, Everybody Wants to Rule the World, and all those incredible freaking songs ran through this. I don't know if that's true or not. I think these are only like $200. I bought one used just to have it back, and I've been playing some kind of like cool wannabe Paul Simon clean stuff through it on a bunch of tracks. But this thing, I saved up for this forever. I bought one of these at Miller. Ray Barry was using one of these, my guitar teacher, when I saw him play with Sideshow, the wonderful group of guys that let me go open up in my Z Cavarici pants and my mullet and my little duster. They let me run out on stage and play a couple songs before they played. It was the first time I went on the, really went on the road. I think I was, 13 or 14, and sleeping up in the cubby of the U-Haul truck while, the grown-ups were getting it done was probably the most exciting thing that's ever happened. Anyway, that GP8 is so cool. Lance Vannerson, if you ever get on here, you'll remember us programming these settings up at Hanover Place at KU all night, trying to get those old Steve Lukather sounds. And if you listen to Dan Huff, Joe Satriani, this is basically this was, I say, the poor man's version, and the thing was still $600 or $700. But it's like the H3000, the TC Electronic shimmery coarse, super 80s, 90s guitar sound, which I know some of y'all hate. But you're whatever you grow up with and whatever you're first affected by, it opens you up pretty good. So I spent all that time trying to get those glammy sounds, and now I just chase these Mark Knopfler Dobro sounds. I'm on 2 paths at the same time with you folks. You're putting up with a lot today. Anyway, I'll just say this. I know I gave you a big spiel the other day about, don't worry about speed and don't worry about gear and all that. But let me just say this. If you're not going to get a lot of money for a piece of old gear, and you have space, or you could, throw it back at your grandmama's house or something. Folks, I've sold stuff that breaks my heart. Now, at times I was on the road, you have to pawn some stuff, you have to do some stuff to get some money. That's fine. You sell stuff, trade things around. But if you don't really need to get rid of something, my original GP8, I even get this back, thankfully cheaply. It lit me up. I know it's the freaking nostalgia show, but there's something to be said for those first few things you get on your guitar, man. There's magic in them. There's really magic in them. So anyway, leave some comments. Let me know how it's going. Hit the subscribe. Hit the bell. I'm looking forward to keeping this going. And again, shout out to Kevin Deems for trying to pull the production level up here. It's a lot of fun, folks. Have a good day. Bye.